So one of the things, and it sounds like with this soul work, it really helps. One of the things Victoria and I talk about a lot with our clients is the integration, being able to take that information and integrate it. And it sounds like your soul work is a huge part of that integration process. What would you say is kind of the biggest shift you've seen with the client? Like from when they walked in the door to, toward the end of their time with you?
Yes, I love that question. And I also want to remark, I love how you see the soul work, or how I'm describing as integration. And I never actually put that together, but it's so true, right? That is the piece that it helps them embody the words, the thoughts, right? And that's where the integration really starts to happen. So I love that you said that. I'm like, my little brain is like, okay, how can I make this into a thing? So thank you for saying that. One of my biggest clients' success stories is a woman who was a ruminator. So someone that's a beautiful analyzing brain, and we're all so different, and I love that, but she could not turn her brain off. She would just analyze and analyze. And so what a ruminator does is that they repeatedly go over things like nonstop. So she was suffering from anxiety. She was suffering from, not being able to turn off her brain. And because of that, she was never present. And she actually said, she's like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not there. So through talking and discovering, we realized that she was very fearful of being present because she was afraid to lose whatever that thing was. So instead of actually just showing up fully, she would show up a little bit to protect and save herself. But then in her head afterwards, if let's say she went to a dinner and she kind of had fun, but she didn't really talk a lot, and all her friends are engaging in conversation, she would then go home and say, I should have said this at dinner. I should have done this. Why didn't I wear that to dinner? Right? Her anxiety and her ruminating would just take over. Yeah. Through our time together, she just became aware of a lot of her behaviors that she had no idea. And again, that's what I say. It all begins with awareness. She became aware. She didn't even know about the word rumination. And that's one piece, but it was funny now we kind of joke about it. And it's she had no idea that she was running in this pattern always. And it was always. And one of the biggest things is that part of that too is that she wanted to be in control. Because if you're in control, then you don't really get hurt as much. And it's just, and a lot of us do this. And it's not judgment. I'm just sharing, right? A lot of us do this. And she was having a hard time starting her family, getting pregnant for years, right? She was just so anxious and the control and this going over and over. We did a lot of meditation and journaling. So I forgot to mention this, we can talk about it later. I focus on mindfulness. That's my entry into how I base all my coaching, mindfulness tools, because that's what started my journey. So we focused a lot on journaling and meditating. And that beautiful soul just saw herself, right? She probably and I'm sure connected to her higher self, and started to see and feel the way things could be if she did connect fully, if she did show up present. It was so beautiful. And it was slower than that because I'm just recapping it in 5 minutes. But after some months, she really started to show up, and she just kept telling me that I feel so good. And that's all she would say. She's like, this weekend I did this and I did this and I feel so good. She was so happy, and she couldn't almost believe how long she's been kind of hiding and half showing up and not mad at herself. Well, maybe she had that experience, but I told her, don't judge yourself. You were like that before. The beautiful thing is that now you have choice. You don't have to be like that anymore. And again, empowering my clients to have choice. I don't tell them, do this. You should be this way and this way only. No, I remind them that they have the choice of their awareness. Then they can choose whichever path they want to, right? And giving them that sovereign freedom. It's beautiful. And she then became pregnant after years of having a hard time. I feel some part of her body and her mind and her heart just released into trust, into comfort, into belief. And I couldn't be happier for her. She still struggles with anxiety. I don't magically cure things. I wish I could, guys. If you're listening, I don't magically cure things. If I had that power, we'd be talking about other things right now. But but I can give you tools to help you manage it, work through it yourself. And that's what I love about coaching, right? Like I gave her everything that she didn't know she needed, and now she uses them on her own when she wants to. She'll tell me, she's like, Natalie, I just did a meditation in the middle of my workday. And I'm like, yes. Like I get so proud, right? Because it's like you can only show people X amount and then it's up to them. But so that's one of my largest and happiest, it's also more recent stories. It's beautiful, right? Like it's so nice to see. It's just nice to see. Thank you for
Absolutely.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really does. It reminds me of something that I always say. The healing happens when we start bringing things up to the conscious. And then everything becomes like unraveling all the knots, the energetic knots, so that then the healing and release can happen. And that's what happened to her.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just, I don't know. It's just nice to hear her say, guess what? I hosted my whole family in my house. She was terrified of doing something like that before. Again, because like how do I be present and do all, like her anxiety just took over. Excuse me. So yeah, it's a beautiful journey, like to be able to facilitate and then witness